Welcome to another damn episode of Outside the Ring.
This is the first one we've done in, like, how long?
I want to say, honestly, I think it's only been about maybe a little more than a week, but it seems like a month. Yeah. But you know what? Not a damn thing has changed.
Not a damn thing has changed, nope.
Now, we're going to get to it. But first, this is the same. I'm the one, the only Jason.
Murphy!
Yeah! PG sucks, Murphy. Alongside the one, the only, Troy, Stone Cold.
You put it the right way there. PG just sucks.
You're not going to argue with that?
I'm not going to argue.
Austin. Twitter, Outside the Ring with the number 1. Yes, we are still on Twitter. Facebook, Outside the Ring, and our email.
And yes, we still have an email for those archaic people that are still banging rocks together in caves. It is outsidethering316@gmail.com.
All right.
And the reason that you said PG sucks is because we have both been playing WWE 13.
Good game.
Very good game.
Pretty good game.
And we've been playing through the Attitude Era, and it's just bringing up memories.
It is, and we were trying to think about, like, well, all right, what the hell? It's been our first show in like a week or more. We don't know what to talk about, and I flat out said we need to talk about the Attitude Era versus the PG Era. What it was like when we were like in high school.
Today is just going to be a ranting day.
Yeah, today is going to be a day where you have noticed before. Sometimes we don't know what to talk about, so we just complain.
Yeah, we just go off on stuff.
Because everybody that thinks we are WWE fanboys are going to sadly be mistaken, because we are about to rip one.
That was WWE marks.
Yes.
Was the exact term.
Marks. I'm not a mark for either company right now, as a matter of fact.
No.
They're both making me scratch my head a little bit.
Exactly.
Liars. Where do we begin? Let's begin. Let's begin with what we liked about the Attitude Era. I'll start with you.
What I liked about the Attitude Era is that it was good.
That's a good start.
Yes, there were some storylines that were just kind of like, how did this get on TV? Like the whole thing with Kai and Val Venus.
Mae Young's hand.
The Katie Vick stuff. That even back then, those kind of made me scratch my head and just be like, how did that make it past the censors?
Yeah.
The storylines were kind of edgier, and I'm not saying that something has to be really edgy or it has to push the line to be good, but they were just written so much better than the stories nowadays are being written.
Yes.
And the wrestling itself was better back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and again, I'm not saying you need blood or chair shots to the head to have a good match, but it was those things that just added that little extra to it, where you're watching a match and then Stone Cold hauls off and hits somebody in the head with a chair. It's just one of those oh damn moments.
Yeah,
we don't get that nowadays.
No, we don't. We really, honestly don't. We were so spoiled. I mean, we were.
We were, and I hate saying that we were spoiled, because guys like us that grew up with the Attitude Era, people will say, oh, well, you're just complaining, you're comparing two different eras, it's not fair, blah, 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 all this. And yeah, it is fair.
It is fair.
Because it just shows how far WWE has fallen. Mm-hmm. Back in the Attitude Era, they could write some damn good storylines. They could put on some damn good matches. Rock and Austin comes to mind.
Yep.
But nowadays, nothing like that happens. I mean, yes, we had the Cena Punk match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
That was a damn good match.
One match in how many years?
Yeah. And Shawn and Undertaker.
Sure.
But you've also got to think, those two are from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, so you really can't count that.
You can't count that. You can't count Triple H and Undertaker, because, again, both from the Attitude Era.
Yep.
I mean, you can't really count those towards the PG era, because those guys still have that Attitude Era wrestling style.
Yep. I just, I think spoiled is the right word, though, whether we want to admit it or not. There was so much good stuff back in the day.
There was.
And now we're getting pooped on by Vince McMahon. I mean, we really are. I mean, put the PG stuff aside. Put the fact that it's PG rated, okay, aside. If you remember, a lot of people don't realize this, but when Raw is War was starting up and it started to get a little more attitudinal, I don't know what the word is, attitudinal, a little more attitude, right?
Yeah.
When that was starting up, when it started to get on that rise, do you realize that WWE was still rated TV PG?
I did not realize that.
There are old episodes you could find on YouTube where if you look in the top left-hand corner with the show intro, and by the way, that was a kick-ass intro back in the day, too. Yeah. They were, when it was like WWE Warzone, when Stone Cold just started to rise up and The Rock and all these guys, it was PG. Now, when it was back in 99, 2000, all that stuff, it really turned to TV 14.
Yeah.
But there was a time where they got away with some stuff, sure, but it was still PG.
Yep.
The writing was better. The writing was
better.
more serious. That's the problem. We can dissect it any way we want. The bottom line is, and I was talking to some of our listeners about this on our Facebook page like about a week ago. The thing is it really the wrestlers, or is it the fact that these guys, they self-promote way more than they used to? Twitter and Facebook and I mean, look, we'll let breast cancer aside because that was cool.
That was for a good cause.
But for the most part, all they care about now is self-promotion, self-promoting. I mean, they had toys back in the day. They had video games.
Oh, yeah.
They had a hotline. You know what I mean?
I remember that.
And they didn't force-feed all this stuff down our throat like they are today.
No. And you take a guy like Zack Ryder, like the king of self-promotion in the WWE.
Right.
If he was back in the Attitude Era, he would not have lasted 3 months.
No.
If he would be doing the same stuff that he's doing today,
right.
Back then, he would not have lasted.
And the thing is, Zack Ryder is a decent worker. He's far from horrible.
He's a decent worker.
But the problem is his gimmick.
His gimmick is absolutely terrible.
Now, I would think that they would have used a guy like Zack Ryder much like they did Stevie Richards back in the day. I would see, I look at Stevie Richards, pretty good worker. Gimmicks were kind of but
especially when it came to like right to censor,
and that's the thing. Yeah, and the thing was though, they would find places for guys like Santino or Zack Ryder. They would not have those gimmicks. They would find a way. Maybe Santino would be more edgier because there was a time where Santino was actually pretty damn funny. I thought when he was a heel, I thought that was his best run, and he was still PG, but I think if you let him go on TV 14, it would be a different subject.
Oh, yeah. If you let most of these guys go on TV 14, it would be different. I mean, just think about what Punk could do.
Oh, my God.
I'm not saying anything about Cena because I don't think he knows. I don't think he would know what to do.
Well, I think his rapper gimmick would have been very much over.
Gimmick, yes, that would have been very over in the PG era.
Yeah, it would have been very much so over because again, there were guys in the PG or the Attitude Era that weren't great workers by any stretch, but their gimmicks and their over the top characters really did some good. I mean, think about it. Just back in the day, man, you could not miss a Monday Night Raw or a WCW Nitro for that matter.
Just one example of a guy that wasn't, he wasn't, the greatest worker, but his gimmick helped get him over. Gangrel.
Yes.
Gangrel was a semi-decent worker.
Right.
It was his gimmick, the whole vampire thing.
Yeah.
The Brood with Edge and Christian and the Hardy Brothers.
Yeah.
The bloodbaths. That's what really got him over. And nowadays, it seems like none of the gimmicks themselves, which are few and far between in the company, honestly,
none
of them actually help get them over.
No, absolutely not. And I think, look, it is gimmicks, and that has a lot to do with it. Back in the Attitude Era, it was more real. Like, they had guys do worked shoots. Like, there was a time where Undertaker came out and said, he's been here for 10 years and he's not getting he's not getting the push that he deserves. This is the Undertaker out there with a sweatshirt on.
And
it was real. Like, you bought into that.
Let's not forget, of course, this was back when all of us were younger. We were more impressionable, and we were more likely to think that things were real when they weren't. Like Austin and Vince, when he had him in the ring with a toy gun to his head.
Yeah.
Back then, you didn't know any better. You thought that was real, and you're thinking, oh, my God, he's going to kill this man.
Yeah, like, we're like, whoa, what the hell's this? You had guys like Shamrock, who is a legitimate badass. Blackman, and we're just talking mid-card.
Blackman, he was mid-card, but my God, he could have been main event.
Sure.
And that was just based on his gimmick and his skills in the ring. He wasn't that great of a talker, but back then you didn't really need to be, because back then, if you were a talker, yes, you were main event. You were Rock status, Austin status, Undertaker status. And like guys like Steve Blackman, if they would have put him in the main event, he would have needed to talk, and he would not have been able to compare to Rock, Austin, Taker, any of them.
Now, granted, I think the Attitude Era also had a lot of guys in their prime. A lot of guys. We were treated because we not only had Austin in the same era as The Rock, but you had guys like Triple H on the rise. You had Mankind. You had Shawn Michaels. You had the Brothers of Destruction, for God's sakes. You had a bunch of guys that hit their prime all at the same time. Now, I mean, really, if you want the best workers, you look at guys like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler. But other than that, I mean, honestly, those are the guys, Troy, that they need to push to the moon. Those are the guys they need to center the show around. Do you want, it's seen on the show, fine. But don't have him in the main event. Build these other guys up.
And you mentioned him. Just imagine what Dolph Ziggler would have been like in the Attitude Era.
Oh, any of these guys. Daniel Bryan.
Dolph Ziggler kind of pushes the envelope nowadays, even with, his random comments of, he gets done with a match and he'll yell out, "Follow that."
Right. Oh, my God. He would be on fire.
Or he's talking about, his shirt that says "Stealing the Show," and on the back it says "and your girlfriend."
Yeah, right.
That's kind of, for PG, that's kind of pushing the envelope.
Yes, it is. And I think
Ziggler would have been, he's great now, but he would have been so much better in the Attitude Era.
I just think that, honest to God, man, I think we were so spoiled. And again, a lot of it had to do with the fact that there were so many damn good wrestlers back in the day. But the bottom line, it was more realistic. I feel like I'm watching WWE now, and I feel like I'm back in 1994, where they had Doink the Clown, and they had Lex Luger, and they had Mabel, and guys like Shawn Michaels were putting on the best matches, but were not being used right until about 96, 97.
They were mid-card.
I mean, Bret Hart was one of the greatest workers of all time. Unfortunately, he was in 94. That was the best feud in 94. The only good product that they had, the only good thing that they had going for them back when WWF at the time was crap, was Bret and Owens feud.
Yep.
That was realistic, hit your heart, brother versus brother. I mean, Undertaker was doing his thing, but
That was what really drove it home to make you think, that it's realistic, because it was brother versus brother.
Yeah, but now
And they tried that again more recently with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
It just really didn't work.
No, it didn't. It didn't. And it's sad. It's sad that, but even back then, hell, you're talking Jeff and Matt Hardy. That was like WrestleMania 24, something like that. I'll even take that over what we're seing now. That's sad.
Also, we have to say, back in the Attitude Era, one other thing that was predominant was the actual good tag team wrestling.
Yes.
Nowadays, there's nothing.
It's coming back a little bit.
A little bit.
It's better than it was 2 months ago.
Oh, way better.
But at the same time, there's some teams where you're like, really? Huh?
Yeah, really, yeah. Some of them you just look at them and just kind of like you have that look on your face, like.
You know what the problem is?
Really?
Here's the problem. The problem is they had like 2 tag teams about 2 months ago. Now they have about 6. Okay, that's a start. Unfortunately, those 6 are always wrestling each other.
Exactly.
And then again, back in the Attitude Era, 2-hour Raws. They got people over. They didn't have to have a massive roster. They got the guys over that sold merchandise. Now they got a 3-hour show, and they the same bookings every week.
That and recaps. That's it. They probably use 45 minutes of that extra hour for recaps to go over what happened last week, what happened earlier in the night. We saw it once already. That's plenty.
Yeah. I just, again, those kids out there, I feel bad because even if you watch videos of how good it used to be, you'll never truly understand how good it used to be. And even as us, we were a lot younger back then. But my God, I remember going to high school every day and talking wrestling. In math class with people that you didn't even think watched wrestling.
Yeah, back in our days, if you went to school and you didn't see that Monday Night Raw or you didn't see that SmackDown,
oh, you were screwed.
You were like the social pariah for that day.
Pretty much.
Nobody talked to you.
Right. It was sad. I mean, if you had a NWO black and red against the NWO Hollywood, I mean, there was gangs and stuff. It was ridiculous. I mean, it was.
Yeah, this, of course, remembering this was back before the teachers started complaining about, wrestling gives kids bad thoughts, all that. This is back when the teachers didn't care as long as you were in school.
Yeah, so we kind of know where the answer is, but please comment below and let us know. Do you like PG? Do you like what it is now, or would you rather go back to the Attitude Era? I think that's an easy answer, but I'm interested to see what people would like to say.
Yeah, and again, for the people that are thinking, oh, you're siding with the Attitude Era because you grew up with that. No, we're not, because there have been good matches in the PG era.
It's just not the same.
It's just not. Yeah, it's just not the same.
The storylines are terrible now.
Exactly.
They're terrible. But we are not. So please subscribe. Again, we'll try to do another one of these maybe back-to-back tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, we're trying our hardest to get back on a regular schedule.
We had a Hurricane Sandy. We had sickness. You're pretty damn sick.
Yeah.
And I'm actually starting to get sick now too, which isn't a good thing. But I'm drinking ginger ale and stuff, so hopefully I'll be okay. We are going to try to do this again.
Drink orange juice. Get your vitamin C up.
That's what I need, brother. And to say my prayers and eat. Yeah, Tomorrow we'll see you again outside the ring.
Deuces.